Hello, everybody. This is James Van Praagh, and welcome to Life After Death and Beyond with my good friend Kellee White. Hello, Kellee White.
Hi, James. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
How are
everybody.
you doing?
It's just a great, thing to think about. Well, one day a week, I'll be with Kellee and my friends here, and
Exactly. We'll have a live therapy session live for everybody.
Live for everybody around the world. Yes, and life happens to all of us. So we come together every Monday and just share everything, which is great.
Yeah.
It's a great community. Yeah,
It is a great community.
so things are changing. You mentioned this. We talked about it 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Transformation.
Oh, as I said, and I really mean this, kicking or screaming, it doesn't really matter. Things are going to change.
Yes, everybody I know in my life.
Everybody, I was just going to say, you've had a lot of change. I've had a lot of change. Everybody I know is going through their deep transformational situations, whatever they may be.
Yeah, and I guess, and it's hard for us to get rid of those old tapes, right? Sometimes old programming, we go back to that negative space, but we got to realize we got to step out of that and realize it's going to happen. Things happen. We are who we are. Things will change around us. The conditions. Spirit will often come through and say, the conditions are this way for now, but the conditions will change very soon. You just have to live through these conditions. But just remember, they're just conditions, and you will learn from these.
I love that, James.
I hear it all the time. Whenever I'm like getting antsy or like, it's just a condition. They will change.
Ooh, I'm going to write that one down. It's just a condition, because that's really what people need to hear. It's just a condition, and then it will change.
And this is how we learn. We come back here to learn our lessons on this earth. As hard as things are, losing someone in our life, and in whatever way it is, whether it's death or whether it's moving to a new place, or
illness,
divorce. These are lessons. These are rich lessons that we are learning to expand our soul self. And we in this three-dimensional world can't see it that way because we're so kind of hidden.
Well, we're so myopic in it. We're right in it, so it's hard to see.
Did I tell you last week my analogy, which has come to me over and over again? Don't ask me who it's from. I don't know, but it's from them. That there's a test tube. And I see us humans in the test tube, and there's gold glittering light, flecks of light. And then at the time of our time to go home, the top of the test tube starts turning and loosening. And then finally, when it's open, we leave and we go into the other sky cosmic of glittering light.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? Got that
test tube.
And I say, oh, that test tube. We're in the test tube right now. So we're very limited in our view. We're very limited in our movement. We're very limited in what we can see, We're limited.
Wow. I love that. So interesting. Such a great way to view our life. Well, it does make sense. And we test ourselves before we come in. We say, what kind of test are we going to have?
I'm watching these, so funny, these AI things now on YouTube and so forth. But that wonderful one about Einstein, I think I sent it to you, the one on Einstein.
It was fabulous. Yeah.
Fabulous. And it's really great what they're discussing. And it's, it's just such great stuff. Tesla, Einstein. And it's just about life after death. How could we, you can't kill energy. Energy transforms. Right. And the important thing that I said over and over again is you prepare for this life before you come back. You prepare for it. Mm-hmm. And you will go through tests and lessons and situations to learn from. It's not a punishment. These are the things you learn from. So when we go through these hard times, I think we need to ask ourselves, what am I, and you do this a lot, Kellee, what am I learning from this? What is the lesson behind this? What lesson am I learning here?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my friends lost their houses, the fires in LA. It's like, what lesson are you learning? Can't hold on to things. There's only things. Their attachments, not who I am. It's everything is temporary. It's not for me. That's just things I lived with. It's very interesting time. Hard, difficult, but major lessons are reserved for those higher levels. So we had such a great time last time talking about the messages, the most common messages from the spirit world, and it was so well received by everybody that Kellee and I thought we'd do another one tonight, part 2, because it was so much fun. The first, and I've done this 40 years, did this 20 years, right? 30 years.
Yeah, 20.
Between us, we have so many different messages and different types of passings and so forth that we wanted to share more of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow. There's a lot of good ones here.
Yeah. So let's see, Kellee. Tell me one good one that comes.
I'll tell you one that comes to me every time I do a reading. Somebody from the other side could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be a good friend. They always seem to say the same thing. And this is the message. Don't be anxious. Don't worry. You don't need to be anxious. Stop being anxious. You don't need to worry.
Mm.
I hear that all the time. And then they'll say the following: if I'd only known then that all this worry was such a waste of time for me, don't make that same mistake.
I just wrote this down. I didn't know.
I didn't know.
And that's not like God's top 5 messages that they come through with this. I wish I only knew when I was alive, but I didn't know about life after death. I didn't know this was going to be so incredible. I didn't know they could hear everything and know everything and be in several places at once. I didn't know I could, be able to see you and
Right.
love is everything. I didn't know. If only I knew then what I know now.
And I was so afraid to die. I was so afraid to die. Have you heard this one?
I've heard that one a lot, all the time.
Yeah.
And I've heard another one, which is, if I only knew how great it was, I would have left sooner.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's a good one.
Another one I've heard a lot is, I can do anything I want over here. I was once in the Larry King show. It was very funny. And Larry was a trip. He was.
He was.
Larry,
I
right?
did not know Larry. I'd run into him in Beverly Hills a lot, but
Okay,
I didn't personally know him.
So he was just like my father. And actually, Larry came to me last week. It's very funny. Right before I'm falling asleep. And Larry, hey, James, how you doing? I said, hey, Larry. And I said, have you met my father? Oh, yeah, we talk a lot. He was so funny. I'm the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was a Brooklyn Dodgers. And he talked the Mets and the Dodgers because they were both big sports fans. And I mean, they were like very similar. And he goes, yeah, we met each other. And then my father came to me a day later and said, I met your friend Larry. He has a high respect for you.
Oh.
My dad was proud. And he was, yeah.
Oh,
But,
wow.
It's so funny over there. Another thing I got, which a message comes through a lot. Have you brought through celebrities before? Any celebrity people that have passed over and come through you?
I mean, ones that I've known.
One that I've known.
Yeah.
So I was once, I think I told the story here before, but it's so interesting. Liberace came through me the other night. This is weird.
The other night? What? Where were you? What happened?
I was sitting, outside with Pearl, my dog, and he goes, hi, James, it's Lee. I said, Lee. He goes, Liberace. I said, oh, hi, Liberace. Hi, Lee. I was going to call him Lee. And he goes, we have a lot in common. I said, guess I know we do. And it was such a nice man. He said to me, this goes back way, way back when I used to live in LA and I did private readings then. I once had a reading with this gentleman, and all of a sudden, and I taped him on cassette. And I said, there's a man here playing the piano named Lee. Do you understand that? And he goes, yes, that's Liberace. I was his manager. I said, oh, I was playing this for you. And he said, that's just so interesting because before I came here, I stopped at Rite Aid and got a cassette tape and waiting in line, I said, Lee, please come through. And here he is. And then since then, Liberace's, well, it's really weird. We are kind of connected in a strange way. Never knew him personally, but I was on stage once in the Arizona and a theater in the Round. And all of a sudden I'm coming out on the stage, it's in the Round and it's starting to move. And I said, what's going on? And there was glitter on the stage. I'm like, what's this about? And after the intermission, I said to the stage runner, what is the glitter about? Oh, well, they built this for Liberace for his piano because he's going around. I said, wow. And I went to my dressing room and there is a picture of Liberace on the outside of the dressing room. I hadn't seen it before.
Oh my God.
I walk into my dressing room and there's glitter on the floor. And I'm like, okay, I didn't put that there. Oh. So that was that. And then I had a house in Palm Springs, and finding out it was just 1 block away from Liberace's house.
I remember that because I was in your home, and I do remember that. Wow.
He came through and he was very nice, just kind man, just a kind soul. He said to me, oh, this is what it was. I was sitting with Pearl, I was playing with Pearl. He goes, I love you and your dog's relationship. I was all about my dogs. I love my dogs. I said, you have your dogs with you? I still have my dogs with you, every one of them. Oh, and that Pearl loves you, he said.
Oh.
Yeah. And he said to me, and I was going to cry, can we be friends? He said to me, can we be friends? I said, yes, we can be friends.
Gosh.
And then I went to, yeah. And
you weren't thinking about him. He just showed up.
I wasn't thinking about him at all. Not at all.
Wild.
And then another time it happened, I wasn't thinking about someone. I was in my rose garden. I was trimming roses or cutting roses to bring in the house. Lucille Ball shows up. I didn't know Lucille Ball. I knew a couple of people knew her, were good friends with her. But she said to me, and I was very sad when she died.
Yeah.
I just felt heartbroken because I grew up with that show, and so she was very talented. And she said, James, she goes, I'm not a comedian. I came back to heal people through comedy.
Wow.
And she and other celebrities that have come through have said, I'm not. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm not what they make me to be. That's what Marilyn Monroe, when she came through me, she said to Susan Strasberg, who was writing a book at the time, who Susan's now passed over, and they were roommates in New York. And I remember she said when she finally came through, it took a while for her to come through. I don't know if she was going to come through or not. And she said, I wish they would pay homage to themselves instead of to me.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And it's very true. It's just the person
Yes.
we make of them. They're not that. It's what we humans make of these people. So
I
interesting.
know. Wow. Fascinating.
Fascinating.
Well, it's interesting that Liberace was talking to you about Pearl, because show everybody
Yeah. This is
the
interesting.
picture.
I'm doing an animal course right now, and there's a race. There it is. That's Pearl's.
That's
paw.
a real picture, everybody. The picture
And that's
of
her
a heart
on her paw.
on her paw.
And she has another one on her ear, on her left ear. There's another heart. So I put that up. I'm doing this. Yeah, I'm doing this for my next course in my school, JP School of Mystical Arts. I'm doing a sale right now. Right now, as we're speaking, 2 days left. And what I decided to do was along with this course, people get an evening of psychic readings for their animal. So they bring the animal, show me a picture of the animal, and I'll do a psychic reading for the animal. And then there's going to be another separate evening of animals that were deceased and the messages they have. So
So an evening of working with their pets while their pets are alive, and then ones where the pets have passed.
Exactly.
Gosh, James, people are going to love that, because there's so many people that have just lost their animals right now.
And a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of things that are going on with the animals. And I work a lot with veterinarians and help them. And I don't know. I'm thinking about I'm being pulled to do kind of counseling work in the vets, which is interesting.
Oh, I could see you do that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you have such a love for animals.
I do. And it's so funny because the more I go to dog parks every morning and go to the doggy beach here in Del Mar, I see how it sounds really weird, but how more advanced animals are than humans.
Oh, please. You always have to train the owner, right?
It's true.
It's so true. Cool. Oh my gosh. Wow.
It's like some lady had a bird that wouldn't stop pecking at it. I said, well, what are you saying around the house? Well, I'm not always happy. Well, there you go. And it was a diet thing going on. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have to tell you, I had a wild story recently, James, that I've shared this the other day, but it's unbelievable. I lost a good friend who had been a client for a long time, and I just loved her. Her name was Vicky. And when she passed, I didn't know she had passed, but I was looking out my daughter's window. And as I was looking out my daughter's window, I saw 2 giant dove, and the dove hit my window. The first one and second one hit my window. Then the birds turned around and looked at me and flew off. Wow. And I knew then that she had passed.
That was a sign.
And that was the sign. And sure enough, that's exactly when she had passed.
Wow. Yeah, they can. I don't know the magnetic connections that the animal kingdom has with us, but we're able to, once we leave the test tube, we're able to be amongst them and work with them, and they work in harmony with us to do these sorts of things and impress humans and signs of humans. My mother, this is an interesting story. A message from my mother came through once. My sister was sitting at our old house. We used to have a dad's house, and she's seeing the front step. And she was thinking about my mother. All of a sudden, a butterfly lands on the step next to her. She must be sitting there for like 5 minutes. And she starts to go into the house. She notices a butterfly. The butterfly follows her into the house.
Whoa.
She says hello to my father. And then she goes out the door to go to the garage. The butterfly follows her out the garage, the back door, into the garage.
Oh my gosh.
My sister was looking at her bike that she saw that garage. And the butterfly went once around the bike and then flew off.
Wow. Wow.
Was that my mother? So I think so.
Total.
Because we're all connected. We're all connected.
Wow. Did Janis Joplin come through you?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
She was the very first one to come through. I was 10 years old, and I was sitting with my friend Scott. And I wrote about this in one of the books. I think it was Talking to Heaven. and we were kind of playing in a den at their house in their apartment, and we lit a candle and we're doing a little seance, which kids at 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think she had just recently passed, like maybe 2 months before, or a month before. Said, "Is the spirit of Janis Joplin here? Is the spirit of Janis Joplin here?" We're holding hands, and all of a sudden the candle went right out. We said, "Give us a sign." And I went,
Oh my gosh.
and I ran so far out of that room, screaming.
I bet.
Yeah, that was one of
Whoa.
the first experiences. Yeah, she came right through. If it was her, I mean, it was the flame went out. Yeah, but yeah, were you? I don't know if you were there. Remember in was it Simi Valley? I did an event. One of those events you were there,
I
Kellee,
was there.
when it was a famous guitar player.
It was
This is so
oh,
weird.
it was such a good story.
There was a
Oh
boy coming through to his mother and father,
Mhm.
and he said, "I'm learning how to play guitar here." And the mother said, he was wanting to play the guitar. So, oh, he has a guy is teaching him about guitar. And next thing you know, the guy comes in to his niece on the other side, and we got to remember his name. Very famous
Was
musician.
very famous musician.
A
Don, you were there. I know you're listening. Don was there with us.
rock and roll.
Rock and roll guy, but he was very, very famous, and he lived in that area. And it turned out that his secretary was there.
Was it a secretary?
His secretary was there in the audience with us.
God, what's his? I got to remember his name. Not
Um,
Guthrie. Someone like that. Not
somebody
Buffalo.
like that.
Someone like that. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember. And it was such a weird night because then the guy comes through to his assistant or his secretary or whoever it was, and she goes, "Yes, that's blah 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 him."
Yeah.
And he said, "I'm the guide of the boy that you're talking to.
Yes.
I'm the one that's teaching him guitar." It was so
It
weird.
was unbelievable. Judy, remember, let us know, because a famous guy.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. I put it at the university. I remember. And then in line, I was doing a book signing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
This is so weird. And a lady comes up to me and she said, "That's amazing about blah, blah, blah." He used to go to Venice Beach and write music on the beach. He used to stay in his car and write music. I remember his stories on, it was documented, big documentary. Oh, God, I remember. He knew the Beatles.
Yeah.
It was big time. And
not Harry, was it Harry Chapin?
Harry Chapin. Maybe
yeah, it was a big deal.
Something like a Harry Chapin
Yeah.
or something. But the lady came and signed a book. She said, "That's amazing about, let's say, Harry. That's amazing about him. I was the operator that got the 911 call of his heart attack."
Oh my God.
All the same night.
Wow, isn't it wild how all that works?
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wild.
So, another message I get a lot, James, from the other side when I'm working with a family is I get a message that will thank the person that's here for going into therapy or getting help for drugs or alcohol or getting help for abuse or whatever it happens to be. The other side will thank their loved ones for doing it.
Wow. Yeah, that does happen
that message a lot. Yeah.
Quite a lot. Yeah. I get a lot of messages about suicide. And many times this message from suicide it's so different than the person living expected. And sometimes I'll hear from the spirit saying, "We planned on this before we came back. This was my journey, and we all agreed upon it." Or I'll hear, "I needed this for my soul development." And all different types. There's no such thing as hell. This has helped me. I couldn't do it. I wasn't prepared for it. I came back too early. I shouldn't have jumped back in. I hear that a lot too. So yeah. So
I have a question about that because somebody asked us actually the question, and they said that their loved one had suicided, and she was so angry at the loved one. She cannot move forward. How does somebody move forward in that situation?
Well, number one, realize that perspective, that they're a soul, you're a soul. They come back for lessons. And you see, when I hear that, Kellee, it's almost like I feel like the person still living feels like they should have done. They feel guilty. They should have done something. They could have done something to help.
Yeah, that's a
really
big one.
And they couldn't have because everybody has.
I say that all the time. Yep.
Yeah, and they couldn't. That was their journey they chose, and you should. They should be thanking themselves for giving that other soul the opportunity for living this life and helping them. And sometimes that was their destiny. Believe it or not, sometimes we pick leaving the body in that way. Suicide is such a negative stigma.
Right.
But there are all different types of suicides, and sometimes they pick that out before we get back to help our loved ones, to help our soul group, to sacrifice for some reason. There's something more to it, but. And that person's going to realize they're in a better place, and they chose that. That's what they did.
But also, there's sometimes you can give all your blood, and it's not going to be enough, no matter what. And and then you have to really look at that. And usually, go get some help for yourself with it, because it's a lot.
Yes, and there's I'm very aware of there are certain groups and certain places, and there are certain people that are professional grievers, and that's a bad place to be. Professional grievers.
We've known some of those folks.
Yeah. Now you don't move. We're here to grow and progress each day, even if it's a little bit. But you can't become professional grievers. It's not good for them. Think of the spirit world. If you're completely in sadness and grief and crying and upset all the time, and that's first, it's natural. We have to do that. We have to go through grief. But I'm talking about a way of life. You can do that for a long, long time, 5 years, 10 years, a long time. And you don't move. Think of how it affects a spirit person, how upset it makes them. It's worse than their death. Because everything that you send, what you think, send is 10, 20 times, 30 times stronger received on the spirit side of life.
Wow.
So when you're crying, you're upset, they get it even stronger. And I've always had the message of, Mom, stop, please don't do that to me. Or, honey, I'm right next to you. Don't think I'm dead. Can't you hear me? I'm with you. I'm with you. Love never dies. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I'm alive. Yeah.
We had this the other day. Somebody left us a message, James, and they said that their mother was in a lot of pain when she passed, and her fear was that she was going to pass with this kind of pain also. What do you say to somebody about that? It scares her, the pain.
Well, number one, that's the mother's experience, not her experience. So it's the opposite projecting something onto something. It's taking on that. And again, Kellee, I think that, you're the therapist, but I think it wraps around guilt and like, I shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I could have helped. I could have done something. And I don't know what kind of person the mother was, but
beat myself up with that same pain, It doesn't be like that. It's a lovely thing to do. I thought about this today. My friend Violet, who passed over, she's in the back of my book, Unfinished Business. And she was my neighbor in Laguna Beach. And we used to get together every afternoon and have tea. And she was a double Sag, and we used to talk about life after death and so forth. And she has a distinctive voice. And oh, James, how are you today? Oh, this world. And when she passed over, she came back to me and said, oh, James. She goes, well, the human beings, why don't they give themselves a tap in the back, a pat in the back for being in the life experience? She goes, it's not easy there. They need to give themselves a little more gratitude that they're doing it, because it's a hard place.
That's so true. I love that. It is so true. Oh my God.
I get a lot of messages. I should have loved myself more.
Oh yeah. That's a big one. I should have loved myself more.
And I was with on a book tour with, I want to say, is it Richard? Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Remember that book? Richard. And he was at the airport with me, and he was doing a book. He was coming out of the city. I was coming into the same bookstore. Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And I met his wife. He's since passed. But it's really, really true, because spirit will come through with a lot of messages of, don't think about those small things. That's not, doesn't matter. It's the bigger things. It's the future. It's who you are at this moment. That yesterday is gone. Tomorrow's yet to be. Be here, present now.
Right. So true.
And another one came up yesterday. A message comes through all the time, in that, because I'm doing, storage for a friend of mine, a storage room. Furniture and things. Spirit will often say, like, say a mother comes to her and says, why do you have my things in boxes? What good are they doing in boxes? People could use those dishes. Why are they sitting there? Use those dishes to help people. People need them. What are they doing in the garage? Get them out. Start using them. It's true.
Get rid of my clothes. They're no good in the closet. Take my favorite t-shirt, and that's it.
Yeah. Why have all that clothes? I don't need them now. I hear that a lot too.
Yeah, me too. I hear that one.
And people often hold on to a shirt or a piece of clothing, which is normal. It's fine. But you got to realize they're so, they're looking at you and holding their things. And they realize, there's an adjustment, but they're right there. They don't need an article of clothes to be manifest.
Another thing that people hold on to is anger. When somebody passes, whether they're just angry that the person passed, or that they're angry because a person was killed by a drunk driver, or any things like that. They will not let, they won't let their life go forward.
But Kellee, I think that comes into a lot of different dynamics. In that, number one, what was that person's relationship with themselves? Did they hold on to the other person to make themselves to who they were? Did it validate them? Did they not have a sense of who they were on their own? Could they not have solitude? Did they have to be maybe a codependent relationship, or had to be with the other person?
Right.
There's so many different dynamics. Each one is so individualized. It's
So
hard.
true.
It's a general thing. And there's also, as you know better than I do, mental illness involved in some cases with people.
Well, personality disorders. There's all kinds of things that are involved here.
What have you had with, I think we talked a lot about it last time, Alzheimer's and dementia?
Oh, the moment they leave the body, it's gone. The moment they take off, they don't have it. But the first thing that a soul will say to me from the other side is, I'm clear now. And they will shout it out. I'm clear now.
Yeah.
They want their loved ones to know. But they don't. There's nothing the matter with them now. They're just fine.
I've had it said, what they say, something like, I can think clearly now. I can think clearly now. I've also had it, which is overwhelming to me, when spirit comes through. And many times I'll talk about a wife or husband, whoever. Thank you for helping me go to the hospital for the medical.
Yes.
Thank you for taking the wheelchair. Thank you for driving. It's a little small acts of kindness.
Thank you for going grocery shopping for me when I couldn't. I'll hear that one often.
Thank you for making the soup and feeding me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I get that a lot. Thank you for the garden you created for me. So they are very, very aware of everything we're doing for them. Yeah. It's almost like they can be in several places at once. They don't just disappear. They're around us. They live with us, sometimes through us. Sometimes we're teaching them, so they'll stay very close to us. I've had my sister come through and talk about dogs. She said to me once, I said this before the show, I can't believe the relationship with you and your dog. She goes, it's just crazy. The way that your dog loves you and you love that dog, because I've never seen this before.
Oh.
It is.
That's a good one. Oh my gosh. And what do you think about when people have addictions? Let's say, hi, Pearl. I want to see your paw, Pearl. She's the girl. The best girl ever, everybody. She's the sweetest, kindest, sweetest. She loves you so much. I don't know how much you love her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
She's a sweetie pie. Oh my gosh. Okay, when people have addictions and they cross, let's say they have a smoking addiction and they can't stop it.
Right. So I think we've talked about this before, probably, but very interesting addictions. The thing is, remember that the mind is part of the soul is the mind. And when you leave, you have the mindset that you have. Let's say you're a Christian person, and your belief system is that when you pass over, you'll see Jesus. Well, guess what? You will see Jesus.
Exactly.
You'll see Jesus. You'll be in a Christian community. My mother's a priest. She was Catholic. If you're Muslim, you'll go where the Muslims are. You'll go to your belief system. That's where you'll go. In the Bible, it says, "My Father has a house with many mansions." I think that's what it means. There's different realms that exist based on your belief system, where your mind gravitates to. What fills your mind? What is your mindset? So if there's a mindset where you're obsessed with drinking or drugs,
right,
or some kind of obsession, or some addiction, that will greet you when you pass over, and it'll become 20 times, 30 times stronger over there. So it's very important to get rid of stuff here, and you'll experience it. It'll take up a lot of time, whatever time is, but you'll kind of be obsessed with that, and you'll find eventually. There's a lot of help for people to pass over with addictions. There are specialists over there that will bring you to a treatment center, who specialize in that particular type of addiction or obsession that happens, folks. I've had clients come through with food addictions, alcohol addictions, heroin addictions, fentanyl, all different types of things, relationship addictions, they've been through, and all these different places of treatments, they say over there. And they have specialists. And the specialists who treat them are ones who had those addictions when they first passed over. So they can help
That's them. Very true. Very true.
Because they know the mindset.
Right.
So they got to clear the mindset. Also, you got to remember that when we have our life review, when we pass over, everybody has a life review. And you relive all those moments that you gave energy to other people, things that you thought, things you said, things you did. And you see from the other person's point of view. So if you hurt somebody, you'll feel it. how they feel.
Well, so along those lines, somebody asked us, what happens if you really hate somebody on earth who treated you terribly and then you see them in heaven? Is that hatred still there?
Wow.
That's a good question.
It's a good question. And it's just, it really is, how can I put it to you? When we pass to the other side, it's like a mirror. There's a reflection. And you see the hate that you gave out to another person. You feel the hate. And why did you hate that person? What within yourself did you hate? Because it comes from yourself. So there's an aspect of yourself that you hate. Where is that coming from? So it really is true. If you another person just represents within you, they mirror you. So when you're on earth and you hate somebody, what within yourself is not whole that needs to come into wholeness, so you don't have to have that energy of hate. You know what I mean? You can certainly be aware of not agreeing with someone, not believing in whatever, whatever it might be, from politics all the way to life, culture, or behaviors, whatever. It's just, but hate is such a strong one.
Well, hate's a strong word, and it takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, and it's not life. It's the opposite.
No, it's the opposite. It's the opposite of compassion and forgiveness and
and
anything reason why we come here.
It sucks out the life of everything.
Yeah, it does.
Who are we to hate? Who are we that good? Are we that benevolent? Are we better than anybody else that we can do that? How do we know their background? We don't know what their background might be.
Exactly. Who knows what the generational trauma was that led to that?
And there are generational traumas.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And in fact, we will pick a family for certain traumas, actually. So we'll have the experience to break up a pattern, to learn from it.
We can't waste our time here. We didn't come here to waste our time. And that's why I think, Kelly, what do you think? Things are speeding up so quickly now.
Oh, they're speeding up quickly. And I think that the world is getting so chaotic so that we can be forced to work on ourselves so we can calm down. We can get centered. We can forgive. We can not have control over anything really at this point, except in how we feel.
Right. To stop and see how are we fitting in? What's going on with us?
Yeah.
Because we don't have any control of anything else, but what's going on within us? How are we? What's our perspective? And there are times if I'm going, oh, it's just too much. It's too much. But that's also part of being human, which is fine. But everything in moderation too, things will always work out. But boy, sometimes it's like, as you know, when I call you up, say, Kelly, help.
Don't you find, in a sense, James, I find that I'm going slower these days. Like, I think the world has speeded up so much that I just kind of go slow through things. And even though I'm doing a lot of things, it just, I don't know, maybe I view things differently now.
I just noticed, it's so funny because I started working at a gym again. And oh my goodness, gyms have changed. I said to this guy, the trainer guy, I said, don't they clean the machines anymore after they're using them? Oh no, they don't.
Oh no.
So do I have to bring my own wipes to things just have different, And it's so funny because things have changed so much technology-wise, which I'm not technical, of course. Everything has changed so much. I talk about it every single day. When you go to a store and someone just staring at you, $3.04.
I know.
And I'm like, what?
I know.
And it bothers me because where are the manners? Where's the empathy? Where's the connection? So of course,
well, that's the problem, the connection. Yeah.
And I will stop and say, hello, how are you today? Oh, I love your hair or whatever. And lately it's been like, I can't spend the time. I don't want to spend the time. That's just too much.
Right.
There's so much there. Oh God.
Right.
Yeah. Impatience.
Yeah, it's very true. Oh my gosh. Sherry asked if people who harm millions of people feel that kind of pain and hurt.
Yeah, that's like with World War II. Let's say I lost people in World War. You did, family members. Someone say, how could people pick that if they knew that was going to happen? Well, again, the bigger picture is we don't know. We don't know what that bigger picture is. Maybe by that soul, that advanced soul, because I'd say they're pretty advanced beings that would do that. I'm just saying this, I don't know until I pass over, that they're going to sacrifice themselves so humankind can learn something. Someone's calling me here and I'm not sure who they are. So I'm just going to answer my phone.
It's not me.
So I just think that it's maybe it's a sacrifice that they go through. That is an agreement made to evolve humanness, if you will. Um, so there's no death. There's no death.
No,
So the millions of people never died,
it's
but
just a lot of lessons to
a
learn.
lot of lessons.
And I don't care how fast the pace is or how slow the pace is. We're here to learn lessons,
What a great lesson of forgiveness. Oh, yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
So Evie asked if a family member who passed, can they realize what they've done on Earth? I guess, can they realize what they've done, good or bad? Yeah, of
Or didn't
course.
do, or didn't do.
Yeah,
Yes.
or didn't do. We get those questions. Or we get the other soul will say, I wish I could have done this. I should have done that. I wasted my time. You know.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, if they only knew what they knew now, they would have behaved very differently. They'd have chosen love instead of fear. They wouldn't
Yeah.
have wasted the moments they had, the time they had, being judgmental of other people,
Right.
being the doormat for other people, letting people take their power away. They
Right.
wouldn't let themselves do that anymore. How precious life is. I've had that a lot too.
Have you had anything with organ donors?
I told you that last time.
Yeah, that was a
good
good one.
I'll repeat it for everybody. It was good.
Repeat it for one because it.
I had another one after that.
Yeah, good.
And I was in Germany and I was doing a TV show called The Vera Show. And I was during a break. And of course, German to English. And I got to hear the English in my head. And I said, this lady in the audience, I'm just waiting for them to set the lights up. Said, oh, you have a great heart. There's a lady here. And she said, you have my heart. And I said, so I thought it was her mother. It was actually, she had a heart transplant, and it was this lady's heart that she
So
had.
wild.
Yeah, I've had experiences too. I remember in LA, I did a reading once, and there was something about someone eating. It was a woman, and she liked to eat Reese's Pieces. And she says, I don't understand why. And she was in her 40s. Reese's Pieces, I don't understand why. Reese's Pieces. And I don't know what organ it was, but it was organ. I'm not sure which one it was. I'm not sure which one it was. And it was to do with the digestive system. And it was a little boy, it was a 10-year-old boy who died. And he used to eat Reese's Pieces all the time.
The memories of the body parts are fascinating. You know,
It's wild.
I love that one.
What do you think about, Kelly? Have you heard about people that pass over mental illness like narcissism or schizophrenia? What do you hear? Have you heard anything?
Schizophrenia is a really important one because that's really a medical condition, and because there's medicine for schizophrenia. So
why would a soul take that condition on?
A soul would take that condition on because a soul would be teaching others all to be patient, to be kind, to be aware, just to be, have forgiveness. And, also the other thing with schizophrenia is they tend to be very almost genius, if not genius. So it's a real interesting place. They're very psychic, James, very psychic. It's a really interesting diagnosis. Some of them can be the sweetest people in the world. So it's a big one to take on. And narcissism is an interesting one. I mean, to me, it's the soul hasn't learned much.
Really interesting.
Yeah, it hasn't learned as much as it should have.
So would you say the young souls?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
I've had some people in my life, and I've just asked. I don't know. I just daydream or ask spirit. I said, why are they like that? And I hear over and over, James, don't judge them. They don't know any better. Yeah. They don't know any better.
They don't know any better. They're limited. Remember what I used to say? They're limited.
Yes, that's what you taught me.
No, they're limited.
And it's true. They're limited. They don't know any better.
No.
They know. That's all they know.
No.
So this next generation, I'm doing general here, but that's why I get a little upset when I see people that having manners and courtesy, but they don't know any better.
It's like a part of them is just asleep. The part of them is just
closed down, asleep.
Closed down. They can't seem to get there where they need to be. And so I always say to myself, when I see a big narcissist, I say, oh, they're just coming around the bend again.
It's true.
It's true. Like, oh, the elders, they go, oh, okay. It's no judgment. Okay, they'll be off again. So funny.
It's very interesting. Someone talks about people ask about different cultures that you come into, and I think that we come back many, many times, and then we take on different cultures, different religions, different ethnic backgrounds, and it's all to learn. It's all to learn those experiences, and it definitely is that way. I mean, for sure, 100%. And that'd be some places you feel much more connected to than other places.
Mhm.
So, that's very, very true. For some reason, I have no desire for China, no desire to go to China. I've never had any awareness, but I know I've lived in Japan many times, in different parts of Japan.
Okay.
I'm wondering, in Egypt, I have no desire, but I know I've had lifetimes in China. I know I've had lifetimes in Egypt, but I don't have the desire to be there anymore. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So maybe
You've completed that.
I've completed or burnt it out. Yeah.
Burnt it out. Yeah.
It burns out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. Yeah. People get connected to different places.
Yeah. Instead of beating people up about certain things and saying negative things and passing that negative energy on, just say, oh, bless them. They don't know any better. Bless them. That's all they know.
Yeah.
And don't let their energy pull you down.
And yeah, that's a big one, because so many people do get pulled down by their mother, by their father, by their sibling, by their husband, wife, spouse, whatever. It's a big one.
Well, I just heard Kellee, or just heard that the woman, whatever her name is, behind me. Oh,
Is it Belinda?
Belinda or Maggie or something behind me. She said, "Through chaos, you find your peace."
That's how it feels for me right now.
I know.
Great, that's what I was saying. Thank you for that, because it is like through great chaos, I have this peace, still a peace.
Through chaos, you find your peace. I just heard that.
Yeah.
And you must have your mother's rings. You must have your mother's diamond ring or engagement ring or something with rings. Your mother's.
I have the earrings.
You have earrings.
Yeah.
And is there a diamond ring or some engagement ring somewhere? Does Carol have it? You have it?
Carol, I think, has it. I think she has it.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of her stuff, James, that just arrived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll
talking about jewelry and diamonds. She loves diamonds.
She does, and I have her diamonds. Yes.
And who played the sax? I know your dad didn't do it, but who played the saxophone?
Don plays the sax.
Don plays the sax. Well, she's giving love to the saxophone player. So Don?
Yeah. She loves Don so much. Well, it's funny that you did say that, because guess what we did yesterday? We took Mom's ashes and put them in special places around the farm, and we're going to call it, because his sister is Marie, and we're going to call it Marie and Blanche and Lou's Point. For his mom, my mom, and Marie. Great. Yeah. So that's funny you would say that. We put them all over the farm.
She's just appreciating it. Yeah.
It was. Thank you for that. Yeah, it was great.
They really always want to come through and tell you they appreciate things. They watch you. They love us. They love what we do for them. They're always saying how beautiful it is, and they, their frustration is they can't get to us like they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very true.
It's very true. Oh, I have an upcoming retreat, mind, body, and soul. Oh no, that's you. You have it.
You go first, Kellee. You go first.
No. You go right now.
Right.
You go.
I have four spaces open for the Souls Retreat. It's a mind, body, and spirit with my good friend Sue White, who's an incredible healer, who does retreats around the world. And she does yoga with me. And at one point I said to her, listen, you do such great healing work for the body parts. Different body parts, takes out traumas and so forth. I think we need to do a workshop and share these abilities. So we're going to do it for a full week in Maui. And that's going to be in July. There's right there. And Soul Retreat, mind, body, and spirit, healing traumas and healing old hurts, patterns, so forth, and starting brand new, cleaning your soul out. So,
and James, don't you know that the people that sign up for your retreat, that their loved ones on the other side will be there as well?
Oh, you betcha. And we're going to do a whole day of readings and psychic and mediumship and guide work on our Friday. That's our whole Friday. That's the spirit part. Yeah.
Wow. Are you doing readings anymore? Somebody's asking that.
I'm probably going to start doing readings again. I'm thinking about it today. Actually, I might do 2 readings a day. I miss it, so I think I might be doing it. And I might also be doing in-person demonstrations again. I miss that. I used to do it in Los Angeles, the Beverly Garland Hotel in North Hollywood.
In North Hollywood.
I should go back and do that once a month. So I'm looking into that too, because I miss it. I like working that way. And I don't miss going, to flying different cities and do it, but I do miss it.
Oh,
and look at this, you're doing healing work.
I have a mind, body, and spirit, the roots of healing, the game of life. And we're doing this with Carrie Gonia, who does family constellation, who's wonderful. She's great. And Dr. Shirley Palazzari, who's going to be doing, Shirley's going to be doing attachment and shadow work and somatic therapy. And it's a 3-day resort retreat in Burbank, California. It's at a beautiful hotel. And I'm going to be talking about moving everybody from their karma to their dharma. So let's get to dharma here. And looking at, we're going to do meditations, and we're going to be doing, Carrie's going to do family constellations for everybody. So it's going to be an extraordinary 3-day event. If you can join us in Burbank, California, it would be great.
Yeah, it's a great hotel too.
It's a great hotel. Yeah.
I won't be there, but
I know you have something you have to do, so I understand that.
Judy will be there. Judy Friedman, you'll be there.
Judy Friedman is going to be there, which I love. I'm so.
And Judy, you saved me last time I was up there. Thank you. She did a little witchery on me, and it worked.
That's so true. This is a great question. Laura asks, can professional grievers have been souls that have not yet learned to accept death, or is just passing into a new journey? It's a great. I like that too, Laura.
I think, Laura, that's probably an aspect of that. I would be surprised. I don't believe sometimes there's only one answer. I think there are many different answers. I think that's an ingredient there for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Right. Oh, and we're asked if we're going to come to Palm Springs, James.
I'll be in Palm Springs for Memorial Day weekend, but I'm just going to have yes. We're going to hang out and have a good time because I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
But Laguna Beach, I could do it again. That was fun, Laguna Beach. Go up there and do some work.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Well, thank you, everybody. And thank you.
Thank you, James. Thank you, everybody. So,
God bless you.
Yeah, you too. All right, everybody.
Go to my animal course. Sign up for the animal course.
What's the date on your animal course?
Well, May 22nd is the latest, so it's like a couple more days to sign up. So sign up tonight or tomorrow. Because those 2 nights of those events are going to be pretty good.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great.
Everybody gets something, so it's going to be great.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you. Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks, everybody. See you next time.